What was Dul like as a kid?
Bad as most, like in the streets type.
What's my nickname?
His name Duck.
Why Duck Diddle? Why that?
That's what I was about to say when we was growing up.
His name was Duck.
Yeah.
What has it been like for y'all watching YBC Dul, you know, kind of rise through the ranks of the music industry?
His first ever song, he dropped the video, came home, he was whamming.
Did it happen pretty quick?
Bro, that shit happened quick, like a year.
Bro, like I ran laps on niggas, bro. I probably got like 40 million streams right now.
Just a day after this documentary video about YBC Dul was released, he lost his life. That goes to show what kind of a life Dul was living in Philly. Today we're diving into the tragic story of YBC Dul, who left us way too soon. Just before his life was cut short in a brutal execution, Dul sent out a final message that got everyone talking. It's a chilling look into his last thoughts before the streets took him. Let's break down what he had to say and what really went down in his final moments. News of YBC Dul. So y'all probably heard the news by now. Philly drill rapper YBC Dul got shot and killed on the north side of Philly. Reports say it went down around 3:35 p.m. He was chilling in the back seat of a white SUV, riding down the highway, when some dudes pulled up and started blasting. He caught bullets in his chest and hand. They rushed him to Albert Einstein Medical Center, but sadly, he didn't make it. Now, there's some conflicting info about where exactly he got shot. Some reports say it happened on the highway, but others claim the cops found him later, already hurt. But here's the thing. If you know how the business goes in the streets, then you also must know that something feels off about this whole situation. The way it's being reported, the details, and now the footage. It all just doesn't add up. It's almost as if someone wants as much confusion to exist about this thing as possible. And it ain't just us thinking this way. The day after YBC Dul was killed, his own pops went on Facebook saying he believes his son got set up by someone close. He even mentioned that Dul told him the night before that some shady cars had been following him, and he was feeling weird vibes in Philly lately. Now, I know some folks might think, well, he was in that life, so of course, he'd feel some type of way. But it sounds like it was deeper than just beef with his ops, like something more was going on. What we know of Dul. So who was Dul, and how did he make it on the scene? Abdul Vix, aka YBC Dul, liked to brag about his reputation, show off guns, and talk about the beefs his crew, Young Bag Chasers, YBC, had with other gangs. Vix was known as the leader of YBC, a rap crew with ties to a bunch of deadly shootings and arrests in Philly. His fans called him Mr. Disrespectful for his savage lyrics, where he even claimed credit for taking out rival rappers. He got a lot of attention once people thought that he dug up dirt from an enemy's grave in a music video, but Dul clarified later that it wasn't what it seemed.
But people get that confused because they thought that video, you digging up the grave or whatever, was about him.
Digging up his grave if he alive.
Exactly, yeah. It's like it had to be. I was watching it and I figured that out, and then I started reading the comments and it got confirmed that it's like, oh, you're not talking about him because you're talking about somebody who's not there.
Why would I be talking about it, bro? Bro, nobody in our camp touch nobody in they camp. Nobody in they camp touch nobody in our camp. We ain't got nothing going on.
Regardless, on YouTube and Spotify, Dul was getting major attention, with nearly 30,000 monthly listeners. In the interview that Dul made just a day before his passing, he talked about how YBC's beef with other gangs had messed up the whole hood, turning it into a ghost town. The YBC crew has been on the radar of Philly cops for a minute. Earlier this month, one of their rappers, Arshad Curry, got convicted for killing 3 teens and wounding 2 others in a 2021 shooting. Another member, Mary Pablo, was arrested for murder while attending Curry's court hearing. The Philly DA, Larry Krasner, even joked that YBC stands for "You've been charged and you've been convicted" because of all the members getting locked up. Krasner's been vocal about trying to steer young people away from gangs like YBC. After Dul's death, police found a burned-out car that might be connected to the shooting. They recovered some ballistics evidence, but no arrests have been made yet. In the interview, Dul talked about the late Philly rapper P&B Rock, who also came up from gang life before making it big. Dul said he hoped to follow a similar path, using his rap career to uplift his hood. "I'm going to try to build shelters. I'm going to give back to the hood, bro," he said. How YBC got hit right now, nobody really knows the full story, so all we can do is speculate. But let's make one thing clear here. It didn't go down on the highway like some reports were saying. It was way more strange than that. If you watch closely, the car Dul was in just starts drifting into the street. Then out of nowhere, it stops. And I mean literally. The second it stops, the suspects roll up, target the back of the vehicle, and dip out in less than 10 seconds. Now think about this for a sec. The car Dul was in stops, doesn't even pull into a parking spot or nothing, just stops. Then right after, another car pulls up, and they start shooting directly into the back seat where Dul was sitting. They weren't spraying up the whole car like you'd expect in a drive-by, where they'd usually light up the entire vehicle, because they don't know exactly where the target is. But these dudes, they knew exactly where Dul was sitting and shot right into the back on the driver's side. And here's the weird part. How come the driver didn't get hit or anyone else in the car? They say someone else got hit, but we haven't heard any details. No names, no pics, nothing. It's all kind of sketchy, right? It's ironic how these suspects knew exactly where to aim. Maybe someone saw him and gave up the drop, but they hit the target almost too perfectly. It just doesn't add up, y'all. The fact that video footage of the incident came out gave folks material to judge for themselves. Everyone's quick to yell conspiracy, but if you know the streets, you know this doesn't look random. This looks planned. Now, we don't know who else was in that car, but you can clearly see there was a driver, and someone even hopped out of the passenger seat like they were gonna run, then changed their mind and got back in. Instead of driving away from where the shooters went, they drove in the same direction. Now, most people would say maybe the hospital was that way, but come on. If you're in a car that just got shot up, your first instinct is to get away from where the shooters went, not follow them. You don't know if they're waiting for round two. People in the comments on social media are saying that something doesn't feel right. Some believe this was a planned out hit. Damn, definitely a back door. Backseat has tint. People driving got Lil Bro all the way together. Dul's own dad came out and said he feels like his son got set up. It's one thing for us to talk, but when the man's father says it, you gotta listen. However, some believe that his dad put his energy into the wrong thing. Some decided to criticize Dul's father and his online behavior. The sad part is, his dad wants to give conspiracy theories on social media instead of telling his son to knock off the foolishness before it ends badly. Shaking my head. And what's up with no one having cell phone footage of Dul? No one outside caught anything? Why did that person try to jump out of the car and then go back in? There's just too many questions, and now that the footage is out, it kind of backs up what we were thinking and what Dul's dad was saying. It goes without saying, anything's possible and nobody's untouchable, but when you see how they targeted Dul so precisely and no one else got killed or even seriously hit, it's almost like they knew exactly what they were doing. Something just ain't sitting right with the people. And look, when you see bullet holes in a car like that and it doesn't look like there were a lot of shots fired, it makes you think. Usually, if someone's got the drop, they're unloading the clip to make sure the job's done. But here, it's like they knew just how many shots they needed. At the end of the day, it's wild how things can flip so fast out here. One minute, YBC Dul was flexing and telling his truth. The next, he's gone. The streets don't play, and this whole situation just shows how deep things can get. So, what do y'all think? Was Dul's fate sealed by the life he lived, or was something else going on? Hit the comments with your thoughts, and remember, stay aware, stay smart, and most importantly, stay safe out there. Keep rocking with us for more real talk. And as always, if you keep watching, we'll keep dropping.